see you come in. But while you're here, let's go for a brief walk, shall we? Come on. You know what? They say the heart and soul of every design program is a studio culture. So, let's talk about studio. I called it the Strain Project. The idea was to take the design language from an architect, interior designer, or artist and interpret it and put it into an industrial design product. I got the idea from my second year professor, Chris Arnold. This student chose an interior designer who loved strong geometric shapes and vibrant colors. She interpreted the design language into an organizational and educational bathroom toy. Another student chose artist Jeremy Fish to create a collectible battling spinning top. One main issue I ran into is when I asked for the interpretation of designer traits, I got those exact designer traits. It was almost as if I asked the students for something they just copied and pasted. I went back and talked to Professor Arnold about the problem, and he said they experience the same issue. And what they do instead now is they give a term or a definition and they build off of that, which is kind of a good feeling because that's what our first year design level courses do a really great job of doing. And even though the project was a fantastic success, it's good to get the affirmation that we're going in the right direction. Next, let's talk about pre-cycling. I teamed up with local business entrepreneur Robert Garcia to develop something that would help Louisiana festivals become more sustainable. This project had a lot of components to it. We made different type of graphics, different looking vessels, different ways to interact with the recycling process. There was two large and basic lessons that we learned. We needed recycling vessels that didn't look anything like trash cans, and then we needed a way to interact with the user to heighten the recycling experience. We took what we had learned from the past two activities and tried to employ that knowledge in Festival International. We had two types of offerings. The first being a recycling vessel with a pelican, very thematic to the state, and some very intuitive graphics. The second one, we introduced a can crusher to have a fun and interactive element. We introduced our solutions with high hopes, but the reality of designing for people is that you don't know exactly how they're going to use the machines or the products. So the responses that we got were alarming, saddening, but in all reality, they were honest, and we needed to see what happens when we introduce it back into its working environment. We heightened awareness, for sure, but the reality is we didn't succeed nearly to what our expectations were. Our graphs might say different, but I feel like we increased recycling to maybe 10 or 15% than what normally is received. And though our solutions didn't really meet my full expectations, it was nice to get some media attention. Reading the newspaper, online, even one of the largest industrial design websites, Core 77, mentioned us not only once, but twice in their articles. Our future goals are very exciting, but kind of uncertain. Definitely, we're making the vessels simpler and more intuitive. And we'd like to heighten or expand the abilities for us to make cycling more interactive and more engaging.
Like a phoenix from the ashes, so we also rise. You know what smells like ashes? The laser cutter does. Let's talk about CNC Manufacturing.
This one lens lasted all year, instead of the 4 that we burnt through last go-round. I'd like to contribute this to a couple of things. Firstly, making a manual. It helps us bring in revenue for when the things do break, and increases accountability by having a person sign off with their name and password, saying they know the rules and they know how to follow them. Also installed reminders on the front wall of the laser. That way, in case you didn't bring your manual with you, you had no excuse from not knowing how to go through the laser cutting process. Not only did I deassemble, clean, and then reassemble the entire laser cutter, I also covered half the room in home soap to help the sound dampening process. I'm also increasing the sample wall. That way students can come in, find the material, and go ahead and cut their job. Onto the 3D printer. When I got here, they were dead and not used. I took the broken parts from one and fixed up the second one, replacing the motherboard, the hard drive, and some internal components. I discovered a way to make our foam bases go further by cutting 3 stripes instead of the typical 1. And on top of that, we were able to use a student's project to really push the limits of the machine. I'm in the process of working out a deal with a local company, AdventureWorks, to see if we can help them with their prototyping means, and they can help us financially in a way that we desperately need it. This is the size of a 3-axis mill. We took it all the way down to the basic electrical components, took out what didn't work, and spliced the wires back together. On the lighter side, as you can see, the machine works. It works pretty consistently. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. In addition to my normal teaching load, I've also been teaching Clint, a grad student, how to run the machine and get the output he needs for his final project. How did I get it to work, you ask? Well, I took the kill switch out. As you can see, I got some electrical tape over it. It's okay, there's two ways to stop it. There's also a cancel button. Trey Pettijohn, a senior in ID, used this for his final model. And though it took a while and didn't get the most finite resolution, it's definitely the biggest CNC object I've ever put on a machine before.
The cardboard chair. A novel idea. But it's more than that. A tradition that started by Brian L. Powell, and I intend to keep it that way.
We give students 2 weeks to fabricate their set designs. The first group got it done in 4 days. The others, while they took a little bit longer, had some results that were pretty attractive, and I intend on including them in a competition due this July. Some of the things you work on can be oh so technical. Construction drawings, technical drawings. This brings me to my next point. Design 114, drafting, better yet known as drawing. In Design 114, I felt it was very important to include the craftsmanship that comes to drafting, but also integrate elements that profited both architecture, interior design, and industrial design. And to be honest with you, I'm very, very excited about the new direction. Every Thursday, we would go out and draw. And I think drawing, free-handed, is an element that we've really got to push in our curriculums.
So other than my academic duties, here's some things that went on this year. Pay attention.
Last year, at the faculty Canoe Races, the SOAD didn't bring a trophy home. So this year, we increased the difficulty. We had rapids, we increased the characters, we added danger, and after that, we added more danger. And what else? We won. And while we're at it, free Sean Payton. Like last year during Spark Week, I helped out by doing blacksmithing. But this time, I created graphics, a visual language, to help students and faculty know what events were happening when and where. Different this year, Dean Brooks asked if I would use my graffiti skills to make a giant banner for the play and the Joe Stewart recognition. I also helped transport 8 students to the Industrial Design National Conference in Atlanta. On the way, we had some fun at National Park, and as you can see, I'm always working the background scenes, which, oddly enough, I do enjoy. I figured I'm a man who really enjoys inspiration. Excellence is without excuses, a mantra that I do preach. But this year, I think I'm taking it to the next level, featuring my new favorite speaker, Ray Lewis.
So now you got to go out and show them that I'm a different creature now than I was 5 minutes ago. Because I'm pissed off for greatness. Because if you ain't pissed off for greatness, that means you okay with being mediocre. Ain't no man in here okay with being just basic.
It's been a fun year. It's also been a really tough year. Learned more any other year of my life probably. But through it all, I want to say that my faculty's been there to support me and guide me, so thank you so much for that. Other than that, I'll see you in fall 2012 and have a good summer.